Okay, on 53, if you look right here, that's the one we're going to start on here. And so if you look, like, this is acute and that's acute. So more than likely, which I'm just saying if you don't know the rules, then these two are equivalent to each other. So you just set them equal to each other and solve like a normal equation. Subtract 3, divide by 7, and x is 8. Because all you're trying to do here is find the x. Now, if you take this 8 and plug it in, 7 times 8 is 56, plus 3 is 59. So this is equivalent to that. Okay, 54. Again, look at the angles and see if they look the same. If they're both acute or both obtuse, chances are they're equal to each other. So this right here is obtuse, and this is obtuse. And they are equal to each other. Now look right here. These are on the same line, which means that these are equal to 180. So what you're going to do is take these two and have them equal to 180. So the difference is these are equal to each other, and these are on a straight line, which means they're equal to 180 degrees, because all straight lines are 180 degrees. So then from there you just combine like terms, which is 103, subtract and divide by 11. So x is 7. 56. Again, these two are laying on the same line. So that means that they are equal to 180 degrees. So you take that one, add it, and add this one too. And when you add these, you combine like terms, you get 23x plus 19, subtract 19, 23x, and you divide. Okay, so what you're really looking at is, are they both acute, both obtuse, or are they on the same line? Here we go with the next part. You need to remember that all triangles are equal to 180. Okay, so all triangles equal 180. So if you have 180, and then what's inside of here? Well, you have 6x plus 3, 45, and 60. So if you add all of these up together, they should give you 180 degrees. So that's what I did. 6x plus 3 plus 45 plus 60, combine like terms. 6x plus 108, subtract 108, 72. And so x is 12. Again, this is using geometry to solve algebraic equations. This is the whole part of the integrated mathematics. Okay, 58 and 59. Again, all triangles equal 180. You take everything that's in there, combine it, and solve for x. Same thing here. It's the same pattern over and over again. All triangles equal 180 degrees. So you add up whatever is in there and set it equal to 180. Combine like terms and solve for your x. Now, you can get a negative number, because if you look up here, you have 60 and 73. Now, what is a negative 11 plus 58? Well, that's 47. So let's go ahead and we can just go ahead and, this is 0, 1, 7, 14. Okay, and that's 180. So then I know that I'm right. Even though you get a negative number here, it actually comes out to be true, because this is actually 47 degrees. 60, 61. Again, this is something that you're just going to have to kind of look at if you don't remember the rules of vertical angles. And these are actually two parallel lines cut by a transversal, and they are alternating exterior angles. But if you're having trouble with all the terminology and everything, you can always go back to that one little thing of, okay, this is obtuse and this is obtuse. This is acute. This is acute. They are equivalent. Okay, this is acute. So you can go with it that way too. And the answer there should have been 127. Okay, now if all straight lines are 180 degrees, then a complete rotation or a complete circle is 360. So all circles are 360 degrees. So all I did here was I took 237, added the 42, and tried to find the missing piece of this B right here, which happened to be 81. Again, solving an equation with the geometric figure that you're given. 62, 63. These are two parallel lines cut by a transversal. These are alternating interior angles that are congruent, and they are 85 degrees. Right here, you don't even need to know anything about that. That's just there to confuse you. But this is a straight line, and all straight lines equal 180. So if you subtracted this 83 from it, you would have gotten 97. So it's just how you want to look at it. 64. Again, straight line, 180. 180 minus 87, 93. This right here is also a straight line. Or you could have looked at it and said, okay, that's 37. So then this is a complete circle. And you could have went it a little bit more difficult way and said 37 plus 2b. Because if this is b, that's b as well, and solved that way. It's really the same thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Equals 360 if you were talking about a complete circle. 66 and 67, straight line, straight line. .68 and 69, all triangles again are 180, but this is where you're having to just do that same thing where you're finding the missing angle. But here they're throwing in that you should know that this is a right angle, and so you're having to add 90 plus 35 here to get the same kind of concept. It's the same thing over and over again. These are equal to 180. These are equal to 180 degrees. 70, 180 degrees. Surprise! No, you can't believe it. It's such a shocker. 71, area. Okay, area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So what you're going to do from there is get, what is the base? The base is always on the bottom. The height is always, let me rephrase that. The base is always at the bottom of the right angle. Okay, that's where the base is, if it's a triangle. Okay, so if you look, before I colored it in, okay, this right here is the base because it's at the bottom of the right angle. So you're going to have 1/2 base times height. Well, the base is 9 and the height is 5.7. And then I just divided it by 2 because that's the same thing as multiplying it by 1/2. So then you have 51 and 3/10 divided by 2, and that's 25.6 yards squared. That's because you're doing yards times yards, which gives you yards squared. Now, this one is the trapezoid, and this one gives you a little bit of trouble because it's something different, and you see 3 numbers, and you're like, what are they? Okay, you are taking the average of the bases. This 12 is the base, and you could also flip it, and this would be the base. So what you're trying to say is, okay, you made a 12 on one test and a 5.6 on another test. What is the average of those two? So you have to add them together and divide by 2. So when you do that, you get 8.8. Okay, because you had 5.6 plus 12 is 17.6 divided by 2 is 8.8, or 8 8/10. Now, you're going to multiply that by the height. Okay, again, the height is right next to the right angle, the altitude, and you would get 44 inches squared. 73. This one's super easy, 100 yards squared. You know how to do area of rectangles and squares, hopefully, very easily. So that was pretty much a given. 75, again, this is one of those irregular shapes that you're not used to, but it's just easy that you take the average of the bases, which is 2.2 plus 7, which gives you 9.2 divided by 2. The average of those two is 4.6 times the height will give you 32 2/10 miles squared. Same thing here, average. You add them, divide by 2, the two bases, and then you multiply it by the height. So you would have gotten 3.5 times 4.5, this ran off the page, and that would have given you your final answer here, okay? Because 1.4 and 5.6 is 7. 77, a little bit different just because they move the height for you, but basically just pretend like if this was like a ladder up against a house, okay? You can't really tell how tall it is until it's standing upright at a right angle. So the actual height there is going to be 9. So that's why you multiply it times that. This one's easy. 7 times 7, 49. Same thing here. This is, again, the triangle. The base is at the bottom of the right triangle. The height is with the altitude. So you multiply those two and divide by 2, or times 1/2, which is the exact same thing. It doesn't matter. Same thing here. This is the base, and this is the altitude. Now, right now, it doesn't really make that much of a difference because you're multiplying base times height. It would just be like if you had 4 times 3, or if you had 3 times 4. What difference does it really make? It doesn't right now, but it will make a difference later when you get into some trig functions and that kind of thing. So you need to know that terminology. Find the area. Again, area of a circle is pi r squared. So all you're going to do is just make sure that you have the radius here. If they had given you the diameter, you would have divided by 2, and it's simply 3.14. What's the radius? 4 times 4, because it's squared. This is 9.9 times 9.9. And then I rounded to the 10th. Okay, so pi r squared. 83, 84. This is circumference. Okay, so if you were trying to figure out how far around that is, you would take 2 times pi r. And that's just because, remember, what is pi? Pi is circumference divided by diameter. And so that's why you have that right there. See, it makes perfect sense now. The other thing is this is not kilometers squared, because what you're actually doing is saying 2 times 3.14 times 2.1 kilometer. There's only 1 kilometer. You're not doing like you did over here and doing 4 yards times 4 yards. That's why you have yards squared. Right here, all you're going to have is kilometer, because there's only 1. Same thing here. 2 times 3.14 times 6 miles will give you 37.7 miles. This is why you have to have a calculator. 85. Always